Okay, hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith, and I wanted to update you a little bit on where we stand compared to normal with our temperatures. And there's been a lot of talk about global warming. It's been all in the media, and there are all different opinions about what's causing it and what's happening with it. And it's very clear that the Earth is getting warmer. And so I wanted to show you some data to kind of back that up. And a lot of people will say, hey, well, it's not warmer here, it's chilly outside today, that kind of thing. But if you look at the temperatures in Mobile and in Pensacola and our surrounding area, we have been above average every single month this year except for January, and we were near normal in January. So this has been an extraordinary year, and we just set a record for the warmest November on record. So I'm going to show you this so you can kind of see it for yourself. And I'll cut this over here. There you go. So what we're seeing here is that our temperatures, if I can figure out which camera to look at here, and it looks like I got a little bit too much, my head's a little bit cropped here too, so I'm going to pan this camera up a little bit. And let's see if I can get this switched over on two. I guess I could just kind of crouch down a little bit. So what we're seeing, if you look at the graph, January, our temperature is about 0.2 degrees below normal, basically average. February, March, and April, a little more than 2 degrees above normal. This is what we call the mean monthly temperature. If we take the temperatures on average, and then we look at the highs and the lows and the temperature throughout the day, we get what we call our mean average temperature for the day. And when we have a mean average temperature that's 2.5 or 2.7 degrees below normal, that is extremely warm. That is a much warmer situation than normal. And then you can see in May, we saw temperatures that were 4.1 degrees above normal. So we had a scalding hot May. The summer was above average. August was the worst. We saw 3.7 degrees above normal with our temperature in August. And then when we got into September and October, we had a little bit of a fall. But after that, we got into November, and then it got weird. We saw temperatures that were above normal in November. And this is the warmest November that we've ever seen in climate history since really before the early 1900s, the late 1880s. And the temperatures were an extraordinarily 7.3 degrees above normal in November. That is a very warm number. And the two things that stood out, the average lows were the warmest on record, and then the average mean temperature were the warmest on record. So the real thing that got us in November was that likely with Gulf water temperatures being warmer, we just saw the temperatures stay warm at night. And we had kind of an onshore flow, so the Gulf really never cooled off much, and that's why we saw the numbers that broke the records. Now you're probably wondering, hey, what's ahead? Because we're getting into December, will we see above normal weather? Well, it looks like that we will see above normal weather as we head into the next week. And it's not going to be crazy hot, but temperatures will be above average looking at the forecast here as we go through it. A little warmer to the west of us, but definitely looks like it's going to be above average. With the warmer temperatures, we've also seen a drier spell this fall. We've had some rain to catch up, and our soil moisture has recovered, but we are in a drought. And the area that is seeing the most intense drought, the severe drought, as the severe and extreme drought, is really over the western edge of the forecast area. I'll back it up and see if we can zoom in on this, and then I'll get to the last slide that I want to show you today. And if you look at it here, let's see if I can make this, there we go, zoom in a little bit. So the extreme drought is in Washington County and Greene County, and then the orange is the severe drought, and that's going to be most of our inland areas. West Mobile gets a little piece of that. Baldwin County looks better. It's just a little bit dry as we are in level 1 and 2 drought. That's really not a major deal considering the rain we've had lately. All right, so back to temperature. We talked about the temperatures being above average, and I wanted to show you another way we're able to measure this. So there's what's happening. When we talk about global warming, we're talking about what happens across the entire Earth, not just here. Now, the first slide I showed you, it was above average 10 of 11 months, and we just had the warmest November on record, so it was clearly above normal here. If we look at the water temperatures in the Atlantic, okay, it's a big body of water. It's more of an indicator of what's happening globally. The blue line is the average water temperatures, or are the average water temperatures between 2013 and 2023. And then there's two red lines. There's one that kind of takes it through May of 24th of this year, where temperatures were way above normal. There's another line that is last year, 2023, and you can see the difference well above normal with oceanic heat content. And if you go back to the Industrial Revolution time, the water temperatures are running several degrees Celsius higher than they used to before the Industrial Revolution. So globally, we're tracking this, and we can see that the air temperatures are warmer than average, the water temperatures are warmer than average, and they're warmer than they've ever been, and it's been a steady rise over the last 200 years, 150, 200 years. And this is not a political weather segment, it's just a factual one. I wanted to show you what's happening with the warmer temperatures in the earth. And the things that concern me as a meteorologist would be, number one, water temperatures getting warmer, which could fuel bigger and stronger and more frequent hurricanes and have a longer tropical season. And then the other would be, it's pretty hot down here across the Gulf Coast in the summer, and the last thing we need is more hot weather. And right now we're trending in that direction with both of those two things, that we may see warmer water temperatures, which you know what that means, and we also could see hotter weather in the summertime, and you know what that feels like. So warmer than average, interesting to track, and I wanted to point out the main theme here, and that is that we had the temperatures that were so incredibly warm in November, setting a record for the warmest November on record. It looks like December is going to be a little above average, but it may be more reasonable. We have had some frosty mornings here lately, and we'll have more coverage on that on Fox 10 News, but I just wanted to have a little update for you here on our next weather segment with what's happening with the global and local water temperatures and air temperatures.